nobody embraces silence anymore. And, you know, it's a bit of a weird title to a video, right? Like, silence. Okay, sure. Like, some people talk a lot, some people are quiet. Like, cool, it's the silence, right? But I wanted to talk more about, you know, making purposeful moments throughout your day that are silence. Like, dedicating time throughout the day just to spend in silence, like, doing nothing, right? And for pretty much everyone who's probably watching this, and for me, for most of my life, you know, we spend our time going from A to B, right? There's always something to do, and, you know, when there's not, we tend to feel bored, right? We fill these times when we're bored with stuff like, you know, video games or music, or like watching videos like this, right? There's always something to do. There's always something going on in our lives. But when have you ever just like sat with yourself and like stared at a wall, right? It's such a weird thing to do, and yet I've tried it and I've discovered so much more about myself than I ever thought I would, right? So let's go back, I want to say like 6 weeks to 2 months ago, right? I was like finishing up with school, and, you know, I was hearing from like all my friends and other people about like all the things they're going to do after high school, and, you know, I've got no idea, right? I have no clue. I just did general in year 12 at my high school, finished that, and now it's like, sick, I got nothing now. You know, my mates, they're going off doing their exams, you know, maybe applying to some universities and stuff, and I'm just like, I was going to say an unemployed bum, but thankfully I do have a job, although I don't like it that much, so maybe I'm in a bad spot as well. But yeah, basically, yeah, I don't know what to do, right? And you know, I'm looking at videos on YouTube and stuff, and I just don't know what to do. And I remember I was like scrolling through shorts, which, you know, it's not a great thing to do. But still, I came across this one, and it was about this, I don't really know what like his profession was, but his name was Brain Tracy, and I really recommend checking him out. And it was about the art of solitude, right? Just sitting in silence, being still, like literally staring at a wall like this. Yeah, like you do that for like half an hour or an hour, however long you want, right? And basically, it's like this weird thing in your mind that when you just sit in silence, like your brain like comes up with ideas. It starts telling you, you know, like things to do. It starts, like if you give it a question, oftentimes it will like come to you. It will like answer it in like a visual way, like through images, or maybe like a word will appear in your mind. Like, it's crazy shit, and almost, I don't think many people know about this at all, right? It seems like a pretty niche kind of concept. But yeah, basically, you sit down in your room or something, and it has to be really quiet, right? So I wear like noise cancelling headphones, and I just sit there, and oftentimes I just stare at a wall. You have to keep your eyes open as well, otherwise it's basically just a nap and it doesn't quite work. So you just sit there, you got your headphones on, no noise, no music, no white noise, nothing. Just noise cancelling, you sit there, you're breathing, and you let your eyes go like kind of soft, like your gaze goes soft. And that's it, you just sit there perfectly still. Like you'll get random thoughts, you'll want to stand up and walk around, you'll think it's like a load of bullshit. And honestly, the first few sessions kind of were like just a complete waste of time for me. And on that short, like I thought it was kind of this thing that just happened instantly, but like most things in life, things that are worthwhile do actually take time, you know, to develop and to learn. And it was the same with this. Like I'm still practicing it, I'm still like adapting it. I want to try and like get sessions where like sometimes I'm sitting in solitude, but then other times I'm like writing stuff down, like you know, thoughts that have come to my mind, or even just posing a question like written and then trying to just answer it, just writing, like even if it's gibberish, just whatever comes to mind. I've been trying to like combine stuff like that as well with like solitude. And yeah, it's been awesome, and it really just makes me like, it's really opened my eyes to the fact that, you know, we're all so busy, right? And we take like pride in that, but I think it's so important sometimes to just like do nothing for a bit, which sounds like crazy. And if like, I probably seem crazy as well, like, you know, you just stare at a wall for an hour, like, what are you doing with your life, you know? But that's the thing, like, by doing that, you allow your brain to kind of catch up, you know, with you and your life, because there's so many things in this world that are just vying for our attention, right? You've got our phones, you've got a job, you've got people who want to talk to you, you've got, I don't know, the everyday tasks, like mundane stuff. You gotta like brush your teeth, but like when you just dedicate some time to do nothing, basically, your brain, like, it kind of just tells you things that you've been missing out on, right? Like these important things you wouldn't think to know. It just tells you. It's so interesting, and I really think that you should give it a go. Okay, so I've kind of already run through it, but I want to go through it in a little bit more detail on like the process of this, right, on solitude, because, you know, nobody really embraces silence anymore. That's the title of this video, and it's so true. And I don't know why, because our minds are so incredible, they're so powerful, they're so intelligent, and yet for so many of us, for probably our whole lives, you know, we've never even gotten to know this like superpower we have, which is our minds and its ability to think and generate thoughts and ideas. So yeah, let's go through it, right? So you're going to set aside, I'm going to say half an hour to start off with. Half an hour, go like every second day, right? So you plan out your day, right? And you're going to have half an hour in the afternoon when, you know, maybe like your parents are out of the house or whatever. It's, you know, it's a little bit more quiet. Hopefully you've got like some noise cancelling headphones or like earbuds, and if you don't, that's fine. I'll just do it like, you know, earlier in the day when people are, you know, not quite awake yet, or like later in the evening when people are starting to go to sleep and, you know, people are unwinding, right? I'll just do it then. That's what I've done a few times. And right, so you're gonna dedicate that time, and you're gonna go sit. I like to sit in a chair, with like the, you know, the back support, kind of like this. And you just sit upright with your hands resting on your legs, like your thighs, and then you know, make sure to get like all your itches out and stuff like that. But then yeah, you're just gonna do that. Yeah, no noise, no distractions, no chewing gum, nothing. It's just you and your mind, basically. And you're gonna plant your feet on the ground, and you're gonna not stare at the wall, but like look at the wall and like let your gaze go soft. So whatever that means, like for you, I guess, let your gaze kind of go soft, so you're not staring at any part of the wall. You're just kind of like resting your gaze there. Like your eyes might move ever so slightly to side, that's fine. If you need to blink, that's fine. But we're not like moving around and fidgeting and like itching ourselves and standing up and doing some jumping jacks. We're just sitting down and doing this, right? It's really important that you stay seated and you're not moving around, right? And yeah, you're gonna be like that for the next half an hour. You can set a timer if you want, or you can just go till you kind of had enough. That's fine as well. Sometimes I do that. And then yeah, that's it. All you're gonna do is, well, you can do one or two things. Number one, you can pose a question to yourself. So try not to make it too like deep or anything, because oftentimes for the first few sessions you won't like even get an answer or anything. But you can just ask yourself like, what's something that's holding me back from reaching my potential in a sport of my choice, like soccer? What's stopping me from reaching my potential in soccer? And then you'll sit with yourself in silence. Nothing will come to you for like 20 minutes at least. And then sometimes, if you're lucky, your mind will go clear. You might get like a surge of energy or something. And then sometimes, if you're really lucky, you might get like a word that appears in your mind, like consistency. You're not consistent, and you'll know it's like the right thing. Could be like an image that flashes into your mind. You'll know it's the right thing because you'll like smile, and you'll have this like sense of comfort and gratitude afterwards. You'll know that, yeah, that's how you know it'll be the right thing. So yeah, you'll be sitting there doing nothing, right? And then sometimes that stuff will come to you, and other times it won't, and those sessions will seem like a waste of time. I've had many like that where, you know, I'll pose a question, or sometimes I'll just sit there and nothing really happens, right? It feels like a waste of time, but it's not. It's a step in the right direction, because the art of silence and the art of solitude, it's so much of it is just patience. It's letting your subconscious mind surface its like really important ideas and thoughts and answers to these questions that we have, right? And the reason why it doesn't just come to us immediately is because our like conscious minds, right, are so preoccupied with everything that happens in our day-to-day lives, right? That's why we're doing this. The art of like silence and solitude is letting your subconscious mind bring those ideas to life, right? Like bring it to your conscious mind. And the way to do that is to first get rid of all these random thoughts about everyday life that you have that are, you know, in your conscious mind. And that's what these kind of first few sessions are mostly about. It's about getting rid of those. And there's like a few ways to do this. I mean, you can just kind of sit there in those sessions and like process the thoughts. Like you don't become attached to them or anything, but like, you know, you realize what they are. They're thoughts. They're, you know, they don't define you. They're just passing thoughts, passing ideas. Most of them won't be important, but that's fine. They're all kind of on that conscious level. There's a few ways you can like kind of dispel some of these. You can like write on a piece of paper just like everything you're thinking about for like 10 minutes before one of these sessions. I've found that helps like a lot. You just brainstorm like everything that's on your mind, right? The good, the bad, you know, the things you have to do, things you want to do, all those things, right? And then that means like your brain will be so much quieter when it's time for that silence, right? When you're just sitting in silence by yourself. And you know, more of those like thought-provoking ideas and stuff that's actually important to you and that you like want answers to, they'll start to come to mind more often. And another thing that is really important is to not kind of like focus on this you know, magical answer or really intellectual idea or whatever it is, right? The point of this is to sit in silence, sit still, right? And to basically not quieten your mind like it is in meditation, but to just listen to your mind, listen to your subconscious, and it will tell you things that you never thought like you knew, right? That's the whole point of this. It's not like meditation where you close your eyes and you just, you know, you focus on your breath, which is, it's very important, by the way. This is a little bit different. So yeah, you're sitting still, you're sitting silent, but you have your eyes open, you're aware, but you're still, you're silent, and you're listening to what your subconscious says. That's like kind of the key difference between meditation and solitude, sitting in silence. So yeah, that's basically all there is for this video. I'm still learning like a lot about this as well, but I found it really interesting, and I hope you do too, and you know, decide to learn a little bit about it. But yeah, I'm going to keep learning about it, and if I, you know, find any like really cool discoveries, or you know, I become better at it, I'll probably make like another video on this as like a bit of an update. But yeah, I really encourage you guys to check out Brain Tracy, B-R-I-A-N, and his last name T-R-A-C-E-Y, I think, or maybe it's just Y. Check him out on YouTube or whatever. I think he's still alive. Yeah, he is. But he doesn't really post content anymore. But yeah, you might find some like little clips or videos of him and, you know, his work. It's really interesting. But in particular, try and learn a little bit about, you know, like the practice of solitude, just sitting in silence, sitting still, and listening to your subconscious mind and what it tells you, because it's something that, oh man, it's like something that's so rarely done nowadays. And honestly, I don't even blame people, because there's so many things that are, you know, vying for our attention. And yeah, it's hard. It's really hard to just sit in silence, sit still, in this day and age. And yet, yeah, we wonder why like all the great philosophers and thinkers and stuff were all, you know, they're either really old now or they're dead, right? It's because back then they didn't have these like, you know, mobile phones and social media and stuff. All these things kind of like vying for their attention, they had a lot more time to sit in silence, and it was a lot easier for them and allowed them to come up with really great ideas and quotes and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's basically it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, keep learning.